Good morning, boys and girls. How are you today? Did you hear all that rain last night? And it's windy and the weather is cooler today. It's a beautiful day. Okay, so let's do the calendar quickly because I got a few things I want to talk to you about today. So today, let's see what day it is. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So this is the next space. Today is Tuesday. And this number is 30. So what comes after 30? 31. 31. So let's write 31. And today is the last day of March, the month of March. And tomorrow will be a new month, and we'll talk about the new months tomorrow. So yesterday we talked about leaves, beautiful leaves that are sprouting and coming alive right now on the trees that have been sleeping all winter long. So today we're going to talk about flowers. And flowers are part of the plant that help the plant reproduce, make other plants flower. Flowers contain pollen, that is the male part, male is the boy, and the pistil is the female part. That's the girl part. And together they make seeds to grow in other plants. So we're going to look at the different sections. First, the flower is the part of a flowering plant that contains the seeds. And for centuries, flowers have been loved for their beautiful shapes, color, and I'd like to say smells and smells. The petals, sometimes we call them petals, but the scientific way of saying petals is the corolla. It consists of the petals of the flower. They are usually brightly colored. The corolla is to attract insects that will transfer the pollen necessary to make other seeds. So I think these flowers here, aren't they beautiful colors? And nature created these colors. So butterflies and insects and bees can pollinate them to make other plants, and they have to be pollinated. The calyx, and a good example of that one, I think, is this maybe, these little ones here. These are the calyx. How it supports the flower is the outer covering of the flower. It's usually green. And next we have the stamen. The stamen is the boy parts. There's lots of them. The stamen produces the pollen. So you can see in this one all the different stamens. I'll bring it out so you can see all the different stamens. And also in that one, you can see the stamens. The pistil is the female part. I'm going to go right here to this one, the pistil. The pistil produces the seeds which grow to eventually become other plants. So this was a tulip, so this one was the pistil. It had a big, tall, like long stick inside the pistil. And also I found some really good pistils inside this one here. See? There are some pistils with stamens. You can see the little pistil. We have lavender here. Oh, it smells so good. Lavender. The pedicel, that's this one, is a slender stalk that supports a single flower. So you can see that on this one, the pedicel, right here. Isn't it amazing, all these beautiful flowers? So I'll send this in my email today, and your parents can print off the paper to where you can make this. Like if you made the leaf booklet yesterday, you can also make a flower booklet, okay? All right, so that's flowers. And flowers are blooming right now here in Texas. And I was gonna suggest, if you go on a nature walk with your parents, I used to do this with my children when I was a Girl Scout leader. We would go into the forest or into the park or even in the gardens around your home. and I would put coloured paper in an egg box, just little bits of different coloured paper. And then my children would have to go and find anything from nature the same to match these colours. And you'd be surprised what you can find in nature to match all these different colours. I put construction paper, magazine paper in it. See what you can do. And I'm just going to come up with one of your favourite games. We put a table mat down. And I know you all love this game. You'll recognise these objects. I'm going to put about 10 objects out. Let's do cat, umbrella, robot, zebra, Santa, kangaroo, and you can do the beginning sounds on this too. Apple, witch, X-ray. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yak. Ha, challenging ones. You can do numbers, letters, objects, and this is called the memory game. So we said the names of the objects. It's important that you do that. And then we're going to cover it with a towel. And then you can take turns doing this. Close your eyes. And I'm going to remove one object. What object did I remove? Santa! And you have to guess. We'll do it one more time. Close your eyes. What object did I remove? Apple. Okay. And I know you love that game. You can do things from nature, from outside, things to work on to improve your vocabulary, to learn new words, pictures, letters, numbers, things from the kitchen, things from the bathroom. It's endless, okay? How many minutes is that, Mila? 7. Okay. So, here's one of our favourite books. I just bought this from Barnes & Noble. It's The Legend of the Bluebonnet, an old tale of Texas, retold and illustrated by Tommy DePaola. He's one of my favourite authors. Great spirits, the land is dying, your people are dying too. The long line of dancers sang. Tell us what we have done to anger you. End this drought. Remember drought when there's no rain, no water around? Save your people. Tell us what we must do so you will send the rain that will bring back life. For 3 days the dancers danced to the sound of the drums, and for 3 days the people called Comanche watched and waited. And even though the hard winter was over, no healing rains came. Drought and famine are hardest on the very young and the very old. Famine means the food is not growing for them in the land. Among the few children left was a small girl named She Who Is Alone. She sat by herself watching the dancers. In her lap was a doll made from buckskin, a warrior doll. The eyes, nose and mouth were painted on with the juice of her berries. It wore beaded leggings and a belt of polished bone. On its head were brilliant blue feathers from the birds who cry, JJ. She loved her doll very much. Soon She Who Was Alone said to her doll, the shaman will go off alone to the top of the hill to listen for the words of the great spirits. Then we will know what to do so that once more the rains will come and the earth will be green and alive. The buffalo will be plentiful and the people will be rich again. As she talked, she thought of the mother who made the doll. the father who brought the blue feathers. She thought of her grandfather and her grandmother she had never known. They were all like shadows. It seemed long ago that they had died from the famine. The people had named her and cared for her. The warrior doll was the only thing she had left from those distant days. The sun is setting, the runner called. As he ran through the camp, the shaman is returning. The people gathered in a circle and the shaman spoke. I have heard the words of the great spirits, he said. The people have become selfish, and for years they have taken from the earth without giving anything back. The great spirits say the people must sacrifice. We must make a burnt offering of the most valued possession among us. The ashes of this offering shall then be scattered to the 4 points of the earth, the home of the winds. And when this sacrifice is made, drought and famine will cease, and life will be restored to the earth and to the people. I wonder what they'll sacrifice, what they will give. The people sang a song of thanks to the great spirits for telling them what they must do. I'm sure it's not my new bow that the great spirits want, a warrior said, or my special blanket, a woman added, as everyone went to their teepees to talk and think over what the great spirits had asked. Everyone, that is, except she who is alone. She held her doll tightly to her heart. You, she said, looking at the doll, you are my most valued possession. It is you the great spirits want. And she knew what she must do. As the council fires died out and the teepee flaps began to close, the small girl returned to the teepee where she slept to wait. The night outside was still except for the distant sound of the night bird with the red wings. And soon everyone in the teepee was asleep except she who was alone. Under the ashes of the teepee fire, one stick still glowed. She took it quietly and crept out into the night. She ran to the place on the hill where the great spirits had spoken to the shaman. Stars filled the sky, but there was no moon. O great spirits, she who is alone said, here is my warrior doll. It is my only thing I have from my family who died in this famine. It is my most valued possession. Please accept it. Then, gathering twigs, she started a fire with a glowing fire stick. The small girl watched as the twigs began to catch and burn. She thought of her grandmother, her grandfather, her mother and father, and all the people, their suffering, their hunger, and before she could change her mind, she thrust the doll into the fire. She watched until the flames died down, and the ashes had grown cold. Then, scooping up a handful, she who is alone scattered the ashes to the home of the winds, the north and the east, the south and the west. And there she fell asleep until the first light of the morning sun woke her. She looked over the hill, and stretching out from all sides where the ashes had fallen, the ground was covered with flowers, beautiful flowers, as blue as the feathers in the hair of the doll, as blue as the feathers of the bird who cries JJ. What are those flowers? Bluebonnets. When people came out of their teepees, they could scarcely believe their eyes. They gathered on the hill with she who is alone to look at this miraculous sight. There was no doubt about it. The flowers are a sign of forgiveness from the great spirits. And as the people sang and danced their thanks to the great spirits, a warm rain began to fall and the land began to live again. From that day on, the little girl who was known by another name, one who dearly loved her people. What an interesting name. And every spring, the great spirits remember the sacrifice of the little girl and fills the hills and valleys of the land, now called Texas, with beautiful blue flowers, even to this very day. And if you go a little further south of Tyler, you will see bluebonnets, but you might have to go for a long drive. And I think they do come up here in East Texas. I have seen some. And there's a bluebonnet. And we did a beautiful week of Texas, didn't we? And some bluebonnets that we made. I love flowers. I do. I love them very much. And I love you. And I miss you so much. It might be some time yet before we can get together. So we still have to stay safe in our homes and well. Okay? So I'm going to be sending your parents an email on some ideas on what you can do in nature, because I feel it's important that we connect to nature, because if we do, that means we will love the earth, and then we will take care of the earth. Yes? So I think it's coming up lunchtime. It is for me right now. So shall we say our lunchtime prayer? We thank you for the world so sweet. We thank you for the food we eat. We thank you for the birds that sing. We thank you, God, for everything. Amen. Bye. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.